in this video, we're going to be talking about how to become a videographer in 2022. Welcome back to the channel. My name is CJam, and as I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about how to become a videographer this year. But before we get started, this video is sponsored by Envato Elements, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later on in the video. And as you know, I'm a videographer. I have been for the past 11 years, and one of the things that I specialize in is, well, video production. You know, I make YouTube videos, I film weddings, I do interviews, and even music videos. So I thought that I'd share my experience with you guys to get you encouraged to step out and begin your videography journey this year. And when you're thinking about videography in terms of comparison to photography, you know, based off my last video, how to become a photographer, videography takes a lot more work, right? So you have to get in the mindset of doing the work and staying committed, right? And you want to make sure that you know how you're planning to learn videography. If you're going to go to film school, nothing is wrong with that. Or if you want to go to YouTube and learn from tutorials like this one, right? A lot of what I learned and what I know today is from what I watch in YouTube videos. So that's also a very good way to learn. So you want to identify the area of videography that you want to get in. If you just want to focus on one area like weddings or corporate interviews, or you want to be multifaceted and versatile, if you want to do music videos, YouTube video production, you can produce YouTube videos for people who have a YouTube channel. And whichever area you choose to venture into also influences the type of equipment that you need to buy to get started. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that you need to get started. First on my list is you're going to need a camera, right? You're obviously going to need a camera and a lens or lenses when you're going to get started. And the amount of lenses that you get is also determined by the area of videography that you're going into, right? Obviously, if you're going into filming sports, you're going to need longer zoom lenses. And you know, zoom lenses are more versatile, but on the other hand, you know, prime lenses are super sharp. So you can decide what kind of lenses you want to use to get started. And in comparison to photography, you're going to need lots of batteries and lots of memory cards, because videography produces a lot more files, you know, huger files, heavier files than when compared to photography. And with all those huge files, you're going to need a much more rigid computer, you know, storage wise, to store all those files, as well as you're going to need editing software to edit your footage. And with your computer and editing software and the huge files that you're going to be creating, you're going to need larger backups, whether it's physical backups, like I always recommend, and cloud backups to go with those physical backups, right? So always remember that your video files are much heavier and larger than your photo files. But just like photography, the next on my list is a portfolio. You need your videos to live somewhere. Whether you're going to create a website or have a social media page, or you're going to create a YouTube channel dedicated to showcasing your videography portfolio, or if you're going to create a Vimeo page, you have to decide where your work is going to live, because you must have a dedicated portfolio to showcase your work to potential clients, because you want people to trust you. You know, they're going to want to see that you actually can do what you say you're able to do. And with videography, you're definitely going to need lights. You must have your own lighting equipment, whether you're going to use LED panels or cob lights. You definitely need some lighting. So what I'll do is I'll also put some links in the description below, so be sure to check them out. I'm going to put some links with everything that I recommend that you need to get started. So all the cameras, the lenses, computers, all of that, check the video description for those resources. Next up, stabilization. Whether it's a tripod, a gimbal, or a slider, or a rig, or some kind of cage, you're going to need some kind of stabilization for your camera, right? Yes, you can handhold your camera for certain projects, but that's going to be a minority of your project. So you definitely need to get some kind of stabilization. And here are some other things that I'd recommend. You know, these are more wants, things that you don't have to get started, but eventually you'll find yourself getting these, right? A drone. You'll definitely want to get a drone to level up the kind of production that you can offer, you know, with your aerial footage, and you can also use it to take aerial photos, as well as the next thing is getting an additional camera body or a backup camera body, whether you're shooting with multiple cameras or you're shooting with one camera and you want to have another camera as a backup just in case, right? And in your editing, you're going to need assets to level up your video production, right? For example, if you're doing a YouTube video, you're going to want an intro, an outro. If you're doing a corporate video, you're going to need like lower thirds to bring up the client's name on the screen, and you're going to need background music to pair with your productions to really give them the right tone and feel. And all of those, the intros, the outros, the lower thirds, and the background music, you can get them all from Envato Elements. Envato Elements is an asset website that I use every single day to make my YouTube videos, and I mentioned everything that you can get from them and more. It's definitely a huge bonus to have because it helps you so much to level up your production, and they're giving you 70% off a month subscription from their website. Be sure to check the link in the description of this video for that discount as well. As I said, I use them every single day, and I really think that they'd be a great help to you in starting on your videography journey. So be sure to check the link in the description to subscribe for Envato Elements. So that's all that you need to get started on your videography journey. It's not very difficult when you think about it. All you have to do is know what you need, and that's all that we discussed here today. Remember to check the links in the description for all the resources that we discussed. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is CJam, and I will see you guys in the next video.